name is Mario Ayala, and I am a student at Scientifique Indian School. Today we are hosting Olivia Carroll at our first Cafe Scientifique of the school year. She is a
Don't stop. Just say that line again.
Olivia Carroll is a BE scientist with a master's in biology and a PhD in plant biology. Why biology? Let me start that sentence. Olivia Carroll is a bee scientist with a master's in biology and a PhD in plant biology. Why bees?
Why bees? I don't know. when I started studying biology, I knew that I wanted a job that would get me outside, and I thought that I would eventually be studying plants, and that studying flowers and pollination might be something that I was into. I didn't know I'd become so interested in the bees, but it was a field that very few people were in, and it allowed me to be outside hiking and looking at flowers all the time, and I kind of found my niche and I stuck with it.
Okay. What do you do when you're not studying bees?
When I am not studying bees, I spend a lot of time with my family. I have a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old daughter, and we take the kids outside hiking a lot and exploring. I really like to cook, I really like to read, and I really like to hang out with my family.
Okay.
Also, when I'm not studying bees, I am a teacher at the Santa Fe Girls School, and I teach middle school science to 6th, 7th, and 8th grade girls.
Which of the bees matched your personality best and why?
So we did a little flow chart where we asked people questions about their personalities, and based on their answers determined which bees they were. I definitely prefer working by myself to group work, so I wouldn't be on the social insect side. I tend to follow rules, so I'm probably not going to be the Halictus, the sweat bee. I probably fall out somewhere, maybe mason bee or wool carder bee. I like to make my own stuff, and both of those are bees that make their own homes and furnish them with stuff that they've made too. So one or the other, I'm not sure which, but one of those two.
Could you give us a description?
Mason bees are these beautiful jewels. They're little bees, maybe half an inch in size, and they're bright blue, bright green bees. They carry the pollen on the underside of their abdomen, so often when you see them flying, they look kind of like flying Cheetos. They're covered in yellow pollen all over the body, and they nest in pieces of wood, so you'll see them flying into a nest, oftentimes with like a little ball of mud that they're carrying in their mouths and their mandibles that they use to create walls inside the nest where they are. And the wool carder bee is about the same size as the mason bee, and it's a yellow and black bee, kind of striped like a tiger almost. And they tend to hover in the air, so you'll often see them kind of zip in somewhere really fast and then stop and hover somewhere for a little bit and then move and hover again and hover again. They're kind of fun to watch. And they shave fuzz. If you have a fuzzy plant, they'll shave the fuzz off of the plant and bring a cotton ball of stuff back to the nest and put it in there as like padding for the little babies inside the nest.
That's cool. What would you recommend teens going into this field or a science field related to this topic?
What would I recommend as far as education, or as far as what?
As a profession.
If someone's interested in studying bees or going into biology or a related science as a profession, I think I would recommend, first of all, showing your passion, making it clear to everyone that this is something you're really into. A lot of opportunities, at least for me, have come about because a professor or a mentor or someone who had something to offer found out that I had that interest and was more than happy to provide once I had made it clear that this was interesting for me. I got to know, at every chance I get to know my professors, I get to know my teachers really well. I have relationships still with a lot of them just because they're fascinating, really interesting people, and they have a lot to offer. And once they get to know you, they can offer more to you too. So getting to know your teachers is a really good idea. I think keeping an open mind to all of the different tools that you might someday use as a scientist. I mean, I know it's really important to take science classes and you kind of are given that trajectory in high school and in college and beyond, but there are so many things that I've learned on the side that have come in really handy. You know, how to take care of yourself, wilderness first aid sort of skills, or how to draw and be an illustrator, or how to communicate and how to represent things artistically for people. All of those skills can play into a successful career as a scientist.
Senior, what schools would you recommend seniors to go to, as in college or university places?
Sure. If you want to study bees, there aren't a lot of places that really dive deeply into the field of bees. It's usually more broad, so entomology maybe, all of the insects, or maybe plants, a plant biology program. The University of California system has some great schools for just about any of that. UC Riverside has a really good entomology program. I think it's Merced has a pretty good plant biology program. More locally, UNM has a program, and they actually are growing quite a big bee collection, so I think there's a future there. It's a new program, it's just beginning, but I think there's a future for studying bees at UNM. NMSU has a decent applied entomology, so using the field of insects to help gardeners, help with pest management, that sort of thing. University of Colorado at Boulder, there's some really good scientists there who are really into insects, butterflies, bees, and they have some great field institutes where you can actually go out and work in the field as an undergrad and learn quite a bit. And then I went to Utah State University, which is in Logan, Utah, so northern Utah, almost up to Idaho. And they partner closely with a USDA facility that is one of the largest, best bee collections probably in the world. And so that's not a bad place too to really get to know bees. They have a lot of opportunities for undergrads there.
Okay. For being here.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.